Hey, Multipro here. I'm excited about today's topic in Algebra 1. We're going to talk about the order of operations. What kind of operation is this? Someone having surgery? No, they're not. We're doing operations of math. So this is going to be real exciting. We're going to cover two things today. The first thing is evaluate numerical expressions. And the second thing is evaluate algebraic expressions. So that's when we start sticking letters in with numbers. And numerical, that's just numbers. We know that. All right, so let's dive in. So something we need to talk about first today is order of operations. So does this mean you take out the lung or the heart? No, you don't decide the order of that. This is a rule that gives order to perform operations on mathematical statements. So let me give you the definition. Rule that gives order to perform operations. Okay, so what order do you follow? Well, back in my day, I learned this thing called PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Actually, I don't have an Aunt Sally, but that's what I followed. So let's write out the acronym. Please excuse my, got a little sloppy there. My dear Aunt Sally. So what does each one of these letters stand for? Are they actually talking about my Aunt Sally? Not really, although I don't have one. So P is for parenthesis. So that's these things. Okay? And you can have like numbers in there. Something like that. What's E? E is exponent. What's exponent? Well, we covered that before. That's when something is raised to a power. So 3 squared. Remember, the exponent is this value up here. Okay, now here's where you kind of combine two things. Let's do MD. Are we talking about a medical doctor? No, remember, this is math. All right, so M and D, that's multiply, divide. You can even divide, multiply. It doesn't matter the order, it's just whichever one comes first. And when we look at a math problem, we start on the left and we go to the right, just like we're reading. So if multiplication happens for division, then you multiply. If division happens on the left side and multiplication's on the right-hand side, then you'll divide, then multiply. All right, so then the last one, we'll do these together. AS, Aunt Sally. What is this? Add, subtract. And just like multiply and divide, you could subtract and then add. Okay? So we always do parentheses first, from left to right. Then we do exponents. We solve those from left to right. And then multiplication and division, whichever one comes first, we'll do that left to right. Then we add and subtract, and that's from left to right. Okay, let's dive in and look at some examples. All right, let's see here. Let's try this problem here. 40 plus 7 times 12 plus 3. All right, is there a parentheses here? No parentheses. Do we see any exponents? No exponents either. All right, so the first two things we don't have to worry about anything. Is there any multiplication or division? I see multiplication, so let's do that first. So we have to go ahead and just carry out the other stuff. All right, now we got 7 times 12. 84. Good job. And then we'll carry out the rest. Now, any other multiplication or division? No, I don't see any. All right, so any addition or subtraction? We got 2 additions. Let's start solving from left to right. So 40 plus 84 is 124 plus 3. We'll carry that out. And then this will be equal to 127. All right, great job. Not too bad, right? Let's try another problem. We got 15 divided by 3 times 7 minus 12 to the second power. All right. Any parentheses here? No parentheses. Any exponents? Yeah, we have an exponent right up here. This 2 is an exponent. So let's do that first. So we have to carry out, just write out the rest of the equation. 15 divided by 3 times 7 minus, okay, let's solve this. What's 12 times 12? 1 gross, 144. All right. Now, let's continue solving. And so do we have any other exponents? No other exponents. Okay. So is there any multiplication or division? Yes, there's both. Which one do we do first? The one on the left, because we go from left to right. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, we'll go ahead and write out the rest of the equation. Times 7 minus 144. Okay. All right. Now, we have the multiplication left. We were going to do 5 times 7, that's 35. Minus 144. Okay. So now we have any addition or subtraction left? Yes, we have subtraction. So we're going to do 35 minus 144. That's a minus 109. Great job. We've already solved 2 problems in no time. Let's try a third problem. Let's see here. We have 0 times 1. Let me rewrite this a little bit. 0 times 1 plus 1 times 3 plus 7. Okay, we want to solve this now. Do we have any parentheses? Yes, we do. Let's do that first. So let's carry this out. 0 times 1 plus 1 times 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. All right, now, do we have any multiplication? We've solved all the parentheses. Even though we have a 10 in parentheses, we've already solved what was in the parentheses. So it's just 1 times 10 now. Do we have any multiplication or division? We actually have 2 multiplications. So let's carry those out. So we got 0 plus 1 times 10. All right. Do we have any other multiplication? Yes. Let's go ahead and carry that out. 0 plus 10. And last is addition, 10. So that's your answer, 10. Great job. All right. Let's do another example here. 3 times, and now we have big brackets here. So brackets are kind of like parentheses, except for they group more. So you kind of work from the inside to the out here. Okay, so we got 3 times 0 plus 3 divided by 1 squared. Okay, so now a bracket is kind of similar to a parentheses. But a bracket is really just multiplication, okay? So I could just put this in another parentheses and it would be the same, but let's keep moving here. So we have any parentheses? We do. Let's solve the parentheses first. 3 bracket 0 plus 3 divided by 1, it's 3 squared, okay. Now, we have a 3 in parentheses, but we solved everything in the parentheses, so there's nothing left to solve there. So let's do the exponent. So 3 0 plus 9. Okay, now the bracket's acting kind of like a parentheses now. So let's go ahead and just solve what's inside of there. So that's 3 times 9. So then 27. Okay, so it's kind of like a big parentheses, so you kind of have to solve it for last, save it for last. All right, let's do another problem here. We got 0 plus 1 squared over 3 squared plus 7. All right, now, when we tackle this, let's just focus on one part at a time. We want parentheses, we have none. But we have two exponents, so let's just do one part at a time, okay? So let's just do the numerator first. Remember, that's the top part of the fraction. So we have 0 plus 1 over 3 squared plus 7. And I don't know what this is doing, but it shouldn't have done that. All right, so hopefully you can see where we are writing now. All right, and let's do the next exponent. 0 plus 1 over 9 plus 7. Good? Great. All right, so now we have to solve what's on top and what's on bottom before we can really divide next. We have to do everything on the top row and get it completed and everything on the bottom row, and then we can do the division of dividing the top by the bottom. All right, so 0 plus 1 is 1. 9 plus 7 is 16. So our answer then is 1 by 16. 1 divided by 16. Or 1 over 16. Okay. Now, those were numerical expressions that we evaluated with the order of operations. So the next part of this lesson is going to focus on the algebraic expressions. And remember, guys, you can always pause, rewind, replay parts of this video. So if I'm going too fast for you, it's no problem. You just hit the pause and back up, and then you can play it again to make sure you understand what's going on here. Okay, great. Let's keep moving. So part 2, let's do an algebraic expression. Let's evaluate a minus b squared minus 2c if a is equal to 7, b is equal to 12, and c is equal to 40. Now, we have to put a in for a, so this has to go in here. We have to put b into here, and we have to put c into here. All right, so let's try this. So a is 7, so 7 minus, oh, I already made a mistake. Going too fast. All right. 7 minus 12 squared minus 2 times 40. Right? Okay. So remember, we have to follow the order of operations. But the first thing we did before we followed the order of operations is plug in our numbers for each variable of the expression. All right, we have a parenthetical, so we need to solve inside of this parenthetical. We have 12 squared minus 2 times 40. So what are we going to do first? The exponent, right? Because that becomes before subtraction and multiplication. So we're going to just write out the rest. 7 times 144 minus 2 times 40. All right, we got to tackle this parentheses here. All right. Let's write out the rest. 7 minus, and the next thing is going to be multiplication. 144 minus 2 times 40 is 80. Okay. Now, we have to tackle the parentheses. 7 minus 144 minus 80 is 64. Okay. And now we have nothing left but 7 minus 64, and that's minus 57. So great job there. All right, so now I want to give you another thing. I want you to write an expression that represents the area of a rectangle. A rectangle. So what is a rectangle? It's four-sided. It has two sides that are equal to each other and two other sides that are equal to each other. And all the lines are perpendicular to each other. All right, so let's draw over here a rectangle. And let's draw it a little bit different. Let's try again. Let's say, looks like this. And let's say this side here, which is the same as this side here, this is A in inches. Okay? And then let's say this side here, which is the same as this side here, this is B plus 3 in inches. So let's think about this. What is the expression that represents the area of a triangle? So that would be A times B plus 3. Because you take the two sides are equal to each other, multiply by the other two sides that are equal to each other for the length. So this is an interesting problem. Now let's say that A is equal to 1 inch. And let's say that B is equal to 3 inches. So now we need to find the area. What is the area of the rectangle? What is the area of the rectangle? So let's plug in each length for A and B. So we have 1 inch times 3 inch plus 3 inch. Remember, this was A and this is B plus 3. And we made B 3 inches as well. Okay, so let's solve this. We have to do inside the parentheses first. There's nothing to do with the 1 inch. So let's do the other side. What's 3 plus 3? 6. And since these have the same units, we can say 6 inches. Now, let's solve this. 1 times 6 is 6. But what do we do with the units? They're multiplied each other. It's inch times inch. So what is inch times inch? Well, this is the same as writing 6 inch squared. Okay, so let's try another problem. Let's imagine that we have a triangle. And one side is A millimeter. And another side is B millimeter for the length of the side. And another side is C millimeter. So what do we want here? We want to find the perimeter, perimeter, of the triangle if A equals 1, B is equal to 7, and C is equal to 12. Whoa, we got a problem here. How do we find the perimeter? The perimeter is the length of all three sides added together. So, perimeter, as we'll designate as P, is equal to A plus B plus C. Oh, so that's how we do this. All right, so let's add these up. So we have 1 millimeter plus 7 millimeter plus 12 millimeter. So 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus, whoop, got a little happy there. 8 plus 12 is 20. 20 millimeters is the perimeter of the triangle. So today we did order of operations. We evaluated numerical expressions and algebraic expressions. Thank you guys for watching MultiPro. I hope you continue to watch with me to solve more problems in Algebra 1 in the future.